China has decided it no longer wants to be the world's rubbish collector, and that's causing big problems for the global waste industry. For decades, nearly half the world's waste has been sent to China to be processed. But new government regulations have put a stop to the import of millions of tons of low-grade plastics, which now need to find a new destination. Ben's KRAS recycling business in the Netherlands shipped half of its plastics to China. Since the changes, he says he's forced to bring twice as much as he used to for incineration.
For me as a recycler, it's a shame, of course. Like I said, there is at least 70% inside these bales which can be recycled, or even more than 70%.
And now?
Yeah, they're not allowed to import anymore, and we're not allowed to export.
What other countries wanted to get rid of, China saw as raw material for its growing economy. The Dutch port of Rotterdam was the gateway. Sending waste across the ocean to Asia was cheaper than processing it in Europe.
We buy a lot of goods from China, telephones, laptops, plastic goods, and so we buy them and then they arrive here by ship. Those containers then are empty, and so it's very cheap at that moment to fill them with our plastic waste that comes from the same goods and send it back to China.
Every year Europeans generate 25 million tons of plastic waste, of which only a third is collected for recycling. Now, of that third, the Netherlands would only recycle the high quality plastics. For decades, the low quality plastics were shipped off to China. Now that's no longer an option. So what does Europe do instead?
The EU's lack of capacity to recycle its own plastics is now beginning to show. More waste is getting burned, dumped in landfills, and even illegally disposed of.
The basic problem of plastics is they come in very many varieties.
But there's hope. Some scientists think this could be a wake-up call for the industry, forcing companies to use material that's easier to recycle.
If you look at the plastics that are produced today, they are dramatically complex to recycle. And if something doesn't get recycled, then a lot of it ends up into the environment.
In recent years across Europe, new technologies have been developed to tackle the plastic problem. The director of this Dutch startup says it's becoming possible to keep using the plastic that's already out there.
With this technique, we can endlessly reuse plastic waste. It means we don't have to produce new plastics anymore. In the end, we won't even need oil anymore.
It's not clear if we can recycle our way out of the plastic crisis we've created. But by closing its doors to the world's waste, at least China made other countries take responsibility for a problem they've long shipped off their shores. Fleur, Launspach, Jazeera, Amsterdam.